What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to this week's episode of Fight IQ. Alright, we're getting back into a consistent routine of doing Fight IQs. And this week, it's a pretty big one. Right, I definitely wasn't going to miss this one. I was definitely not going to miss my boy, personal good friend of the show, Bobby Knuckles versus Reinhard de Ritter. Reinhard de Ritter, yeah. I tell a bit of a lie. I was sitting on the couch and I was thinking, I don't really want to record. You know, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it right now. I want to kick my feet up and relax. And then I seen that it's my boy Bobby Nux. I knew it was my boy Bobby Nux, but I was kind of just still like, but it was my boy Bobby Nux nonetheless. And just the patriotic Australian in me just. Well, he's the one recording this video now, alright? True Blue is playing in my head, and, I mean, we're off to a roll. You know how it works. This is going to be a pretty good card, guys. There's a lot of good fights on it. You know how it works. We start from the bottom, we work our way up, alright? I don't know what's going on here, too. Why Muhammad Yahya and Nagoon, why they're so big, and there's two of them. Don't know. Alright, I don't make the UFC network, the UFC website page, whatever. First fight jumping out at us, Martin Bedet versus Marcus Bachecha. I'm going with Martin Bedet here. He's number 13 ranked. Fought a little bit earlier in the year. Didn't mind the style of him, okay? Slovakian. Not too many Slovakians getting out. I honestly think I said the exact same thing when he fought earlier in the year, because we did a Fight IQ and he was in it. So, yeah, Martin Bedet. I think Martin Bedet is going to get this one done. Although Marcus Bachecha, he could be a DWC, he could be a Dana White Contender Series, and I wouldn't know. But I'm going with Martin Bedet anyway. Also, quickly, before I continue on, guys, we dominated. We dominated in the tips, in the picks last week, in my predictions. We got all but 2 wrong, and I'd only consider it to be 1. Because the only 2 I technically got wrong was Max and Dustin. In the video I said, I know it's going to be Max. Like, I know Max is going to win. But because of the whole theme of the video with the cap, with the cheese cutter, and it's old boys day, and we're only picking old boys, I picked Dustin, and he lost. And then, so that was kind of just like I was just doing that for the gag, for the gimmick. But all of the others got up bar Patricio Pitbull beat Dan Ige, which Patricio Pitbull is the old boy. I should have picked him. He was the old boy. It was the old boy's day. I should have picked him. And I picked freaking Dan Ige. But anyway. So we went like, we had like an 80%. Look, I'm counting Maxwell. We had a 90% win rate. 90% pick rate in last week's Fight IQ. So, see what we can do. See if we can back that shit up. Pause. Where was I? Between these two, I have no idea, guys. I have no idea who's winning this fight. This is goofy. I know I'm just going to skip it. Ebro Alisan versus Billy Alakana. I don't know who Billy Alakana is, or I've never seen him fight, never heard of him. UFC casual. Crucify me if you want, but yeah, look. I'm going with these Ebro Alisan here. I picked him earlier in the year when he fought. I got a bit of a blocked nose right now, I don't know why. I picked Ebro Alisan when he fought earlier in the year, and he got beaten by Kutalal. But I think he's going to come back in here with, a bit of weight on his shoulders. Well, he's got a good head on his shoulders. Let's just say that. He's coming in with a head on his shoulders and disciplined. And I don't think he's going to be able to have the luxury of just charging in looking for a finish. This Billy Alakana guy looks, he looks... Yeah, he looks... I don't know what he looks like, if I'm going to be honest with you. He doesn't look like much. There's not much to this Billy Alakana guy. I'm going to go Ebro Alisan, first round knockout. Amanda Ribas, Tabitha Richie. Whoa! Thought I almost knocked over the flag / board. This fight confuses me. It's in the United Arab Emirates. So it's in. So it's in Abu Dhabi or whatever they call it. What's the place called? What's it called? What's it called? What you need? Come to me. Get freed. What's the place called? Oh, bro, what's the place called? Where are these buffoons fighting at, lad? United Arab Emirates. Okay, whatever. So let's just, I don't know. They're fighting somewhere. So, but geez, this has been blown out of proportion. I just thought women weren't fighting in Dubai or whatever, or Saudi Arabia. That's the word I was looking for. Saudi Arabia. I didn't think they were allowed to fight in Saudi Arabia. I don't know. I'm not a sexist. I like women's fights. I just thought that was a thing. I thought that it was against religion or whatever. But I'm picking Tabitha Richie regardless. Davy Grant versus Damon Blackshere. Damon Blackshere actually coming off a pretty big win, I'm pretty sure. Or he was supposed to fight and then he didn't fight. I'm not sure. I'm going to go with Davy Grant here. I think he's going to get a little bit crafty. Stick and move. Get on the inside. Plant the shots. He's going to make it a real barn burner. That's for sure. He's going to get it down to the ground. Control time. Dirty. Clinch boxing. That only Davy Grant can do. Alright, Davy Grant. Actually featured in the first ever episode of Fight IQ, which was the first ever episode of Fight and Field Insights. Okay? So, yeah, Davy Grant to get this one done in whichever way he so pleases. Muslim Salikov versus Carlos Leal. Why isn't that rolling off my tongue like it should be? Carlos Leal. Say it with me. Carlos Leal. Alright, I'm pretty sure we're chasing our own tail here. Okay. Muslim Salikov. Can't remember who he is. He doesn't have a familiar Dagestani face. To put that nicely. He doesn't have a familiar face. I don't know who this is. But he's beaten Randy Brown, he's beaten Ponzinibbio, and he's beaten Son Kanan or whatever. So he must be something. But Carlos Leal, he's also, he's won a few fights. And I don't mind Carlos Leal to win this one, but it's in the spiritual homeland of the Dagestanis and the Muslims in Saudi Arabia. So I'm going to take Muslim Salikov here. Bryce Mitchell versus Said Nurmagomedov. Whatever. Bryce Mitchell. Moving down to bantamweight.
Oh my god,
Bryce Mitchell finally Why? Why is Bryce Mitchell moving down to bantamweight? Can I tell you something? Can I guys let you in on a little secret? Alright. I may not be the sharpest tool in the UFC mixed martial arts draw, but I'm in the draw because I could be on the bench. I'm in the draw, so I know a thing or two. I've buttered a lot more bread than some. Bryce Mitchell's a big featherweight. He's a big featherweight. You ever see Bryce Mitchell versus like Dan Ige? Bryce Mitchell's a big featherweight. And now, he's moving down to bantamweight. Like, this is going to be so interesting. For a guy whose chin hasn't held up all that well, being knocked out by Ilya and such. And just recently being fucking knocked out by Gian Silva. Why are we moving down to bantamweight, Bryce? Why are we moving down to bantamweight, Bryce? Like, this is silly. I think it's a safer fight for him. I don't think he's going to get chinned by Said Nurmagomedov. I think this is going to be a grapple-heavy fight. But still, just the concept of moving down to bantamweight blows my mind. Or am I fully out of check? Or has Bryce Mitchell always been a bantamweight? Because this makes no sense. No, he's been a featherweight. I know he was a featherweight. This is insane. This makes no sense. I think Said Nurmagomedov is probably going to beat Bryce Mitchell. There, I said it. I think this is such a bad play out of Bryce Mitchell's book. I think he's going to get shown levels down at bantamweight, light amount skill. I'm going with Said Nurmagomedov here. Bryce Mitchell has finally lost it. Nikita Krylov versus Bogdan Guskov. Bogdan Guskov. I really like Bogdan Guskov, alright? And I'm really excited for this fight. Nikita Krylov, who we hadn't seen in many a winters, recently got handed his first TKO knockout finish at the hands of my boy Dominic Reyes. Alright? And after this huge, many winter hiatus, to then come back and get knocked out by Dominic Reyes, he's straight back in there. He's trying to chase something. He's trying to chase something he lost against Dominic Reyes. And you want to know something? That's not how you fight. That's not how you fight. You don't chase your losses. Alright? UFC fighting, MMA fight, it's not punting. It's not betting. You do not chase your losses, okay? You take your losses, you take your licks, you go learn from that, you go spend a few more winters in Russia, and then you come back. You come back better, revived. Alright, you're all there. He's jumping into this too quick, in my opinion, guys. Don't get me wrong. There's a bit of time between these fights. I'm pretty sure Nikita Krylov fought on the Volkanovski card. Don't quote me on that. It was within relative terms. All right, there was a few months there where UFC was really good, and he was in that time. But this is a bad fight to take. Trying to chase your losses, Bogdan Guskov. He's a motherfucker. He's gonna knock him out. I was talking like Joe Rogan there. He's a motherfucker. Bogdan Guskov isn't the fight you want to get back into the win column with. All right, he's number 13 ranked. He's bald as they come. One of the baldest men I've ever seen. If I seen him in person, he'd be the baldest man I've ever seen in person. And he's number 13. He's bald. He's pissed off, and I think he's probably going to knock Nikita Krylov out again. I'm going Bogdan Guskov here. All right. Uzbekistan. Asu Alamabayev. There it is. Asu Alamabayev versus Ramazan Temirov. Temirov versus Alamabayev. Number 9 versus number 13. Flyweight bout. Don't really care. I'm going Asa Alamabayev here. I've just seen him fight. I know what he's like, alright, so. Shara the Pirate Nurmagomedov versus Marc-Andre Barriault. I think the Pirate's probably going to be looking to get back in the win column here after losing to Michael Venom Page. Okay, I think he's going to be looking to do it in epic fashion. I think he's probably going to try and knock Marc-Andre Barriault out. But I think this is a pretty bad matchup for Shara Magomedov for the Bullet. That's right, his name's the Bullet, not the Pirate. They call him the Pirate. Sorry about that. They call him the Pirate, but he's the Bullet. I think this is a bad matchup for Shara Bullet. I think Marc-Andre Barriault is a perfect mixed martial. He's the perfect level of mixed martial arts. You know, he's got the bread, he's got the cheese, he's got the ham, he's got the tomato and the lettuce and the salt and pepper and all the right seasonings and both sides of the bread are buttered, and he's got a little bit of aioli on there or a little bit of ranch or something. He's the perfect mixed martial artist. All right. Whereas Shara Magomedov has proved time and time again he's pretty one-sided. All right, he's more striking, less grappling. And I think Marc-Andre Barriault is going to see that, know that, and shoot early. Maybe not early. There might be a fair bit of a striking exchange, but Marc-Andre Barriault at some point will get him down and realize that that's the path to victory. And I think Marc-Andre Barriault wins this one either via submission or decision. Petr Yan finally back fighting his number 3 rank up against Marcus Mcghee's number 13 rank. I'm picking Petr Yan here. I think this is a bit of a mismatch. I'd like to sort of like see this fight and look at it from a spiritual term and be like, oh, well, There's a reason these two are fighting. And it's because Marcus Mcghee is going to get this one done, upset Petr Yan. But I don't think that's the case. Petr Yan's still pretty young. He's still got a bit of ticker in that fight clock of his. And number 3 to number 13 is a huge jump. I think it's going to be a huge gap in skill. And Petr Yan's going to show him levels in the striking. And, you know, this is the hard thing when it comes to fighting Petr Yan. You could be the best striker in the world. He's probably still going to get the licks on you. And he's probably going to outstrike you, Sean O'Malley. And then you could be the best grappler in the world. And, you know, he's going to hang in there with you. He's probably going to out-grapple you and make you look like a schmuck. Aljo, Sterling. Not as much Marab, but Aljo definitely got schmucked by Petr Yan. So, I'm going with Petr Yan here, guys. I think it's just, this is a mismatch. Not in the terms, it's not necessarily a mismatch. It's just like, it's not the right time for Marcus Mcghee to be fighting Petr Yan. Movsar Evlov versus Aaron Pico. I don't know who that is. Is he coming from Bellator or PFL or is he a Dana White contestant? I don't know who he is. He must be someone if Movsar Evlov's fighting him. Apparently this fight's been called off though. So I don't know if this is even going to be happening, this fight. If it does happen, I'm taking Movsar Evlov, but I don't think it's happening. So yeah. And then the main event. Bobby Knuckles knocks out Renan de Ridder. No, I don't know. Bobby Knuckles versus Renan de Ridder. I like Bobby Knuckles, as you can tell. I've got the flag in the background. He is a countryman of mine. He is from the great nation of Australia. He is from the land girt by thou sea. All right. With golden soil. Thou well fertile. Dude, I don't know. I don't even know my own national anthem. I don't even know that. I have to sing the whole song. It's like the ABCs. I just can't start from B. I can't start from like F and then work my way through. You know, I got to start from the start. Anyway, Advanced Australia Fair. Robert Whittaker, number 5 ranked. Renan de Ridder, number 12 ranked. This is setting up for something that I've been predicting for a little while, which will be known as the goofiest title weight fight in history, in UFC history. Dricus du Plessis. Let me paint a picture for you. Dricus du Plessis fights Khamzat. Closest fight. Khamzat loses. Dricus retains his belt. Dricus is still champ. He's looking for fresh, young, hungry up-and-comers. Renan de Ridder somehow beats my boy Bobby Knuckles. Probably not going to happen. Definitely not going to happen. Somehow does it. Because of injuries and whatever else, no one else can cover that spot. Renan de Ridder has the title shot. Renan de Ridder, Dricus du Plessis. Who wins? I don't know. It's the battle of the goofs. It's the goofiest middleweight battle of all time. Title fight of all time in general, okay? That's something that I've been stewing on for a little while. If Renan keeps winning, then we might see that. But for that to happen, 2 major things need to take shape, and that is Dricus somehow beats Khamzat and Renan somehow beats Rob. Don't get me wrong. Rob's an old wily vet. He's an old warhorse. He's seen plenty of battles, okay? And some would be saying it may not be his time anymore. That his clock has now run out. But I say on the contrary. Right? I think Rob's got... He has come out in himself and said he's got 3 or 4 more fights in him before he gets back to a belt. That's crazy talk. Me, I would probably kick my feet up with whatever he's made from the UFC and whatever he's turned them winnings into. Because Robert Whittaker, he comes across as a business-minded man. You know, you don't have a goatee like that for so long without being a true business-minded man. He's got one of the greatest goatees of all time. I think a lot of people neglect the fact that Robert Whittaker has one of the greatest, if not the greatest, goatee of all time. So, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, this fight. Rob's got to beat him, man. This doesn't even make sense. Robert Whittaker's going to beat him. Renan de Ridder sucks. Renan de Ridder beat a bunch of... You know, Renan de Ridder... Who'd Renan de Ridder beat, man? He beat Gerald Meerschaert. I actually can't... There was one in the middle there I can't remember. He beat a Gerald Meerschaert. He beat Bo Nickel, obviously. Great win, but, like, what's Bo Nickel... Oh, he beat Kevin Holland. Man, They are the worst wins. They are the worst wins to be ranked number 12 in the middleweight division. He sucks, man. He is not beating. There's no way he's beating Bobby Knuckles, former middleweight GOAT. Right? I refuse to believe it. And if somehow Reynard the Ritter beats Rob, I'm going to kick and scream and throw a tantrum. And I'm going to go full Tanty tornado on this, up in this bitch. The live stream studio's right there. I'm going to be live streaming this, by the way, guys. I'm going to be live streaming this card for whatever parts I can. I don't want to live stream the whole thing because I'm not incidelled like that. But I'll live stream maybe the main card or something. So yeah, it'll be an early one for me. Tune in. The offer's there. But yeah, I will go full on Tanty tornado, tear this bitch up. If Rob loses to fucking Reynard the Ritter. Because just saying, Gerald Meerschaert, Kevin Holland, and Bo Nickel are definitely not a bolsterous win streak by any means. Although, I looked at Dricus du Plessis' win streak before he fought Rob, and I said the same thing. So, I could be just making my bed. I could be putting all the pieces in place to throw a mega Tanty tornado and tear this bitch apart. That's it, guys. That's it for the card. I don't know why I pulled that off a stand. That's it for the card. Okay. Yeah. Tune in. Live stream. Sunday morning for me. I don't know. Get your time zones right and come check us out on YouTube because I'll be live streaming this bitch. Yeah! Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good week, and I'll see you in the next episode of Fight IQ. Deuces! I'm back. It's me from the future, or the past, or something. I don't know. Forgot to do an outro, so I'm here to say, like, subscribe, okay? Press the subscribe button, and like the video, and check out my socials, Instagram, TikTok. Okay, we're trying to get the Instagram to 100 followers. I want to get to 100 followers. I don't know, it's just a personal goal of mine. Yeah, like, subscribe. We're at 1,000 subs. We're at 1.1, so yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day.